Hello, I figured I'd make a video about the daily schedule for Navy boot camp. I was asked a couple of questions, so I figured it warranted a video, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. Your day is going to start at 06 a.m. every day, except for like 4 or 5 days, depending on what your schedule has for you. On those 4 or 5 days, it's usually for the PFA, the personal fitness assessment, or something like physical fitness assessment. Your first one, your PRT, the second one, and third one as well could happen, could schedule you for an early morning. Any medical appointments, dental appointments, stuff like that, any special learning modules you have to go through, anything about like that teaches you like sexual harassment, alcohol abuse, stuff like that. Your schedule will mold around those things that are required for you to graduate boot camp. So you have to do all those things or you get rolled back. Usually you can make them up if you don't make them, like with the division, if you get SIQ, sick in quarters as it's called, and have to miss. But usually you can make them up. But as you get closer to the end of boot camp, it gets harder to make those things up. So if you miss firearm training, you won't be able to make that up. However, that's not a required thing for you to graduate boot camp. It's not a required learning experience. You have to make the swim test and stuff like that at some point. But you can't. What is it that you can't retake? Oh, the final PFA. So if you don't do it then, you only have like a week or so to make it up. And if you're SIQ, you're kind of out of luck and have to get rolled back anyways. So just keep that in mind when you're doing the SIQ thing. There's certain things that have to be completed to finish boot camp. Now back to the original point at hand, the 6 a.m. wake up. That's going to happen every day except for the reasons previously stated. RDC is going to come into the compartment, yell at everybody like an alarm clock. It's your own personal alarm clock. He'll let you to get up, and you will get up. You will then have 15 minutes to shave, brush your teeth, get your uniform of the day on, and make your rack, make sure everything's folded properly and nice and neat, and get on the tow line. Now the tow line is inside the racks. The beds line the compartment, and you sleep in those. And after you're done, you line up on the inside of the racks, the tow line. It's called the tow line because there's tiles, and it's a marked line that goes around. It's not really marked, but it's the edge of a tiles, the line of tiles that goes around. You're going to face the inside, look at the RDC, and he's going to tell you what the plan is. Now, if you manage not to make it on the tow line in time, or leave something in the head, piss on the toilet seats, leave shaving cream in the sink, toothpaste all over the place, or dirty mirrors, and then get on the tow line, you're screwed. Well, a little bit. At the beginning, towards the beginning of boot camp, the first 2-3 weeks or so, the RDCs will rove the bathroom, make a little quick rove of the compartment, make sure everything's done correctly, and if not, everybody's getting punished. Punishment usually takes about 3 to 5 minutes. Take you through IT, 30 minutes of exercise, like 10 seconds of rest or so, and then they'll have you do something else, or just go straight into the next exercise. But it usually lasts for 3 to 5 minutes, so it might hurt a little bit, but it's over very quickly. So just bear with it. It happened to our division 4 or 5 times in the first 2 weeks. So, but after that, they usually punish only the person that is responsible for being late or leaving stuff in the head. I left shaving cream one time, not in the sink, but the actual bottle of shaving cream. I forgot to get it because I was in a hurry, obviously. But if the RDCs don't like you, they sometimes give you 10 minutes or 8 minutes, and it gets a lot harder. So to prove a point, sometimes they do it once or twice throughout boot camp, like, hey, you got 8 minutes now, get on the tow line. So just be on the ball when you wake up. That's my point. And after you wake up and do the morning routine, RDC tells you what to do for the day. However, the routine for the day, the schedule for the day, the itinerary, whatever you want to call it, is posted at the entrance of the compartment the night before. So if you want to read it, what the next day's plan is before you go to bed, sure. Now you know. Boom. And you can plan accordingly. Well, you can't plan that much accordingly. At least you'll know, though. At least you'll know. But your daily schedule, other than the wake up and stuff like that, is scheduled around what you have to get completed. Those things I mentioned earlier for the earlier wake up calls. And your chow times usually rotate around that as well. Actually, always rotate around that as well. So, and all these special events, I'll list a couple. The personnel inspections, that's the uniform inspection. It's you changing uniforms really quickly and making sure you have everything squared away pretty nice and sat, all buttons buttoned, everything nice and even, all that stuff. Those are uniform inspections. And dramatic material inspections. I don't know if they're dramatic. Doesn't sound dramatic, but that's just folding clothes, putting it in a rack, making sure the rack's made up and stuff like that really quickly. Those inspections happen three times throughout boot camp, so your schedule is going to rotate around that. Any tests you have to take, academic tests, your schedule is going to rotate around that too. Any medical appointments you have to make, same deal. Any learning modules you have to do, same deal. Your chow times and PT times, physical training, will rotate all around those scheduled things. PFAs, PRTs. The first one's a PFA. The other two are the PRTs. So the fitness tests. There. So your schedule is always going to rotate around those things. So sometimes you're going to have a really early morning chow at 06. It's 15-ish. 07 is usually the average. Lunch, it kind of flops around a lot. Sometimes it's right after breakfast. Sometimes you eat breakfast at like 08. Then you have to eat lunch again at 10 a.m. So that's like a 2-hour spread. It's kind of weird. I don't like it, but it flops sometimes. So the latest you'll eat chow for lunch is usually 1:30. Sucks, but it happens. But the latest you'll eat dinner is usually 6 a.m., 6 p.m., because that's when the galley closes. So if you have to eat chow after 6 p.m., something happened and you have to get sack lunches and stuff like that. So those are rare occasions indeed. But at the end of the day, you'll have nightly routine. That's 1 hour set aside for you so you can write letters, read letters, shine your boots, fix any folding issues in your rack to get set for the next day. Stuff like that. But the first few weeks, our division didn't get that, so yours might not as well. It depends all on your RDCs. So we were supposed to get that nightly hour, but we had a SWIC SEAL chief RDC. He was a bit of a hard butt. I don't know if I should cuss in these videos just so I don't get them disqualified for monetization. But he eventually caved and gave us that hour at night because other RDCs said something, asked him to, persuaded him to. But on Sunday, you get something like that nightly routine, that hour, that free hour. You get the 5-hour period at the beginning of the day, right after you wake up and eat chow. You have 5 hours to do the same thing, except you can shower. You can't shower during nightly routines unless you miss the shower earlier in the day for some medical reason, or if you're SIQ, sick in quarters and stuff like that. So that was also planned for us the first few weeks for the same reason. He's very detail oriented. He's like, do this there, do this there, do this there. Those last 5 minutes, yeah, you can write a letter, see if you can get it done. It wasn't enough time, but it sucked, but it got better. It didn't suck that bad because I still didn't have to practice folding for hours on end. And the time you don't spend PTing, doing those special learning things, will all be filled with practice personnel inspections, dramatic material inspections, practice. You'll practice that, practice drill and stuff like that. Drill is marching, learning how to march, so you will practice that outside a bunch and inside the compartment a little bit. All the time that's not dedicated to those required things for you to graduate will be dedicated to monotonous, repetitive practice for those few simple tasks. So get used to it. And laundry, you will not do your own laundry. There's a laundry PO, so you don't have to worry about that. That was asked earlier to me, so I figured I'd make a video and mention it at least a little bit. So you won't do your own laundry. There's a laundry PO who is a recruit assigned by the RDCs, and he'll have 2 or 3 helpers, sometimes 2, to do everyone else's laundry. So if you are that person, yes, you're going to technically do your own laundry. But if not, you don't have to worry about it. Anything else? Let's see. I covered that nightly routine, chow times, stuff like that. there's something I'm missing, and I'm not sure what. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will answer to the best of my ability. And PT. PT, you'll PT 4 times a week-ish, and it all depends on the class schedule as well. But usually, you'll shower once a day because of PT. You'll always shower once a day, but with PT in the mix, you shower after PT. PT usually, it varies as well. It can happen earlier in the morning or late in the afternoon. It can happen in the compartment. It can happen at Freedom Hall, that big PT facility that's in the middle of base. But if you're in a hurry, you'll PT, work out, then go to chow if you're in a hurry. If you're not in a hurry, you'll PT, shower, and then go to chow. That's how it goes. Yeah, I think that's basically everything. And you will have to shower. They already see to that. You might be able to sneak out a couple of days without showering, but you will be found out eventually. I like being clean. So the way showers are oriented, the RDCs give you 20 minutes for the entire division to shower, some 80-odd people. And there's 10 to 15 shower heads. So do the math. 20 minutes for 80 people, 15 shower heads. That doesn't equate very well. But what our RDCs did, they divided us into 2 groups. One half would shower for 10 minutes, then get out, while the other half showered for 10 minutes and got out. And in between, when they're not showering, they get ready to shower and clean the compartment as well. So that's how that happens. The larger your personal bubble, the longer it takes to shower. That's something I found out. So when you're all timid and don't want to touch anybody, it's hard to get wet to lather up and stuff like that to soap. But once you lose your personal bubble, there's so much more room to work with. I could get in and out of the shower in 2.5 to 3 minutes. Usually, after the first few weeks, starting out, I had a big personal bubble. Well, not big, but like 2 or 3 feet of space I needed. Towards the end, I was probably within an inch of almost everybody in our division's wiener at some point in time, and a couple brushed across my leg. That's just how it goes. Females, you don't have to worry about that. Maybe a boob in the face, like, eh. But you will lose your personal bubble, or you will take a long time showering. That's just the moral of the story. So I just got wet, lathered up, rinsed off, got out. That was my shower the entire time at boot camp, except for the first few weeks. But except on holiday routine on Sundays, I took a long shower, which is nice. But that is basically the schedule for your day. As detailed as an overview as I can give it, without giving like a specific day's, detail. That's a weird thing, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I think I covered everything. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, send a message, leave a comment, like my videos. I don't care. All right. Have a good one.